purpose EVAs. And EVA is a nice NASA word for spacewalk. It means extravehicular activity. We love acronyms here at NASA. And one day, when we decide to visit other worlds once more, R2 will walk with us. Because here at this campus, at Building 9, now, we are developing legs for R2. And this entire process of having this very unique piece of hardware with us as we explore space is beginning now with the mission of STS-133. So the launch date rapidly approaches, and the teams of tens of thousands of people who work behind the scenes to make every shuttle flight possible work before and after and during the mission. Fingers crossed, no weather delays, no equipment delays, a nice safe and successful flight for the Shuttle Discovery and her crew. Alrighty guys, before we run out of time together and y'all head off and I get to go home for the day, yay. I will open it up before you leave and we part ways to any questions that you might have, anything and everything you ever want to know, been too afraid to ask about manned spaceflight, past, present, or perhaps future. Go ahead, overcome your fears, raise your hand. I will do my best to answer your questions.
So you said the last mission was controlled from this room when?
The last mission was controlled from here. When was STS-132? Was, I think, in June, if memory serves me correctly, was the last flight that was controlled from here.
June of this year.
June of this year, yes. And the next one's coming up in November. Yes?
I have a question. If there's no wind on the moon, how does the flag wave in the picture?
You bump into it. You bump into it.
The flag?
Yep. That's why it waved. In the video, what you see when it goes, someone had just bumped into it. And they have edited it, so it's kind of just doing that because they thought it looked cool. Also, on Apollo 11, when they set up the flag, the telescopic pole at the top that holds it so it hangs down rather than just kind of drooping, it was broken, and it was stored in a tube about that big for a while. And so what happened was it gets all wrinkly, and since the tube didn't break, I mean, if you've ever packed stuff up and not folded your clothes, and you do like that, like my shirt's doing, it looks like it's kind of waving in some wind that's not there. So all the other astronauts were like, dude, that looks cool, we're going to do that, it looks like it's waving in the wind. So little did they know people are going to use that as a conspiracy theory against them, but at the time they thought it was a really great idea. Cool story about the flag of Apollo 11. Every time we went to the moon, there were two of them. You know, NASA likes backups. So Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Mike Collins brought their backup, and they hung it in mission control. When Gene Cernan, Harrison Schmitt, and Ron Evans, I think was the command module pilot's name, went to the moon on Apollo 17, our last time to go, they took the flag down that was Apollo 11's flag, and they went and put it on the moon. And Gene Cernan, the commander of the flight, took their flag they were going to put on the surface of the moon, brought it down to the surface, and then when they left 3 days later off the surface of the moon, they spent 3 days there, whereas Neil and Buzz only were there for about 21 hours. He brought it back up, and that flag now hangs in the same spot Apollo 11's flag did, over in the historic mission control room. So, a little cool story about the flag there. Not part of your question, I know, but it's a nice little piece of history that not too many people know about. Yes?
Is that R2 guy real?
Is R2 guy real? Yeah, it's real. It's over in Cape Canaveral right now, all mummied up in the cargo bay of the shuttle, ready to go.
What is that button for?
What is that button for? The lights. Sorry, that's not the launch button. That's not the launch button. I know, it would be so cool.
Yeah, right.
Any other questions, guys?
Change camera button.
No? Alrighty, well, we got one more.
Andrew, we called on you. What is that?
That is the space station control room. It's called Flight Control Room 1. And there are always people in the space station, so we're always going to have people there watching them and watching the systems that keep them alive. And they actually fly the space station from there. So pretty much everything that you do on board the space station doesn't involve actually flying the vehicle. You're there to do the science. You're there to live. So we fly it from here. As a matter of fact, when we brought up a new module, we had to move the docking node that the shuttle will attach to. Well, they moved it back into its normal position while the crew was asleep remotely from inside that room. And
how come the launch pad is in Florida and you guys are here?
that's an excellent question. Florida is where it is because it's on the coast, so we can launch them when we stage. It goes into the ocean. Back in the old days, we didn't retrieve anything, but now we retrieve the solid rocket boosters for the ships. And also, you're very close to the equator, or at least as close as you can be in the United States sovereign territory, which, remind you guys, we were in the Cold War when we built that place, so we wanted it, here at home. We could have probably gone to our friends in Panama, but Cold War Russians, and we're going to do it in Florida. But the closer you are to the equator, the more speed you get for free, especially when you launch from west to east, the direction of the rotation of the Earth. So that gives you a little bit extra oomph, and you can load your spacecraft up with more. Now the reason why this place is here, the Center for Manned Spaceflight Mission Control, the home of the astronauts and the training facility, is there was a very powerful politician. His name was Lyndon Baines Johnson, and he was on the Senate Appropriations Committee for Science and Technology when NASA was created back in 1958. You know what he said? Well, when we decided to build this facility, I like this whole idea, but let's scratch out this 37 miles inland and make it faster. In his home state of Texas. And then he became the vice president and the unofficial head of the NASA program. So, he had a lot of pull. But that's why Houston is where it is. Alrighty, guys, we are out of time. Enjoy the rest of your tour, and thank you so much for coming to see us here at JSC. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yay, say hi.
Bye.
Bye.